Thunderstorms and fireworks are a part of life, but so is the fear response in animals who just can't handle the sound and those big vibrations. So if you've got a pet or a horse who panics at every boom and crackle, I've got something that can really help. In this video, I'm going to be showing you my absolute favorite acupressure point for helping animals to stay calm, even when the sky is exploding. And yes, it is easy to find, simple to use, and incredibly effective. I've also got for you a totally free PDF that is packed with additional calming points, complete with big clear pictures on horses and cats and dogs. So you'll find the link for that down in the description below. And don't miss the end, because at the end I'm going to be sharing 2 powerful low-cost bonus tips and 1 special resource, and they all pair beautifully with the acupressure that we're going to be talking about in this video, and they all make a difference for those noise-sensitive individuals. So how do the animals in your care handle noise? Because some are going to just sail through fireworks or thunderstorms or anything like that like champs, whereas others are going to hide under the furniture or shake or even need sedation. You and your clients may have tried thunder shirts for dogs, essential oils, calming music, white noise. There are all sorts of ways to help, and that's really great, and we love all those tools. But if you haven't tried acupressure too, you're really missing this game-changing opportunity. So if you're an animal body worker, you can actually teach this to your clients so that they can use these approaches anytime with their animals. If you're a pet sitter or a shelter worker, it's great for you to actually use them to help these sensitive animals, especially if they have a history of trauma, because they may be particularly sensitive. Now, if you're a trainer, this technique is going to help your clients keep progressing no matter what is going on around you. So let's take a look at how this point can make a real difference. And just understand that this is a one-size-fits-all type of suggestion. And you can also join our certification program where you're going to learn how to make customized solutions for your clients. But this single point is always a great starting point. My go-to starting point for sound sensitivity is Heart 1, which we call really relaxed. And this is absolutely the effect that this has on the body. This point opens what we call the heart meridian, which is an energetic channel in the body, which helps the body kind of stay in a relaxed and calm and peaceful state. It helps the mind as well as the entire biochemistry in that kind of gentle and relaxed state. It shifts the body out of any kind of panic state, anxiety, or nervousness and into a place where they are easy and comfortable. And when animals come to associate this shift from that point work that you do with them, it is fantastic, not only for the animal, but also for your bond and your connection. Now, one big tip here, this point is best used ahead of time if you can. Now, obviously, if you're in the middle of a thunderstorm right now and you're trying this for the first time, you might get great results, so go forward. But if you have a little time ahead of a fireworks situation or a thunderstorm in the forecast, it's wonderful if you could do this point ahead of time, because you're actually going to be training the animal's body to associate this touch and relaxation with that time of connection and calm. You're also kind of prepping the energetic system and kind of opening that point so it kind of clears any blockages that might be there and allows that point to work faster and better when you do need it. So now let's go ahead and see where the point lies. Really relaxed lies right in the armpit crease of all mammals. And we're going to be showing you exactly how to kind of stroke the area first, find the point, and activate the point. But before you do any of that, you actually have to prepare yourself, because in a time when your animal might be anxious or nervous or kind of looking for support, you have to set the tone. So the way to start is to really sit, if you're at home or if you're at the barn, you might be standing, but just be really quiet and stable, really go into a nice deep breath. You might also want to use any kind of grounding technique that you know or use, because that is going to get your head and your entire body in the right frame to go forward and help your animal, because calm animals will follow you if you are calm. Now, when your animal is open and relaxed, it's time to do the point. So I'm going to take this model and quickly show you how to do it. You're going to start out by just stroking in that armpit crease, because that's where the point lies. It actually lies kind of right in the center of the armpit. Now, the big tip here is to remember, it is not on the leg and it is not on the chest. It's actually in that crease up there in the kind of the soft folds of skin that are in between the leg and the chest, right in the center. Of course, if you're working on a horse, you're going to be standing up and maybe reaching into the armpit, whereas with a pet, they might be lying next to you and you're just kind of working in their armpit as they are next to you, like on a couch or on the floor, whatever works for you. Now, as you're finding the point, a lot of times you'll start to see the animal respond. So you've found the location and you can just stop there. There's no need for deep pressure or lots of movement. The big thing for you to do is to just gently hang out at the point with your contact with your fingers and breathe deeply. You can stay there anywhere from maybe 20 to 60 seconds longer if the animal is happy and enjoying it. And if you can, it's fantastic to do it on the other side. It kind of keeps things symmetrical. But if for some reason you can't, don't worry about it. It's just important to get in there and get started. Now, know that we are going to have full demos for you on dogs, cats, and horses, and they're all going to be linked below, so don't miss it. But before we do that, I want to also show you what it looks like when it's really working. To find the point, just gently lift the animal's leg and start by stroking through the armpit crease. This kind of says hello to the area and wakes up the energy and the blood circulation. Then come to the midpoint of the armpit crease. You'll notice I'm not on the chest and I'm not on the leg. I'm really in that diagonal crease between. I'm going to let the leg fall down gently now. And that's how I usually do it, with the leg relaxed. And I'd rest there for 30 to 60 seconds, whatever feels right for you and the animal. You can see the jewel thinks it's just fine. And then when you're ready, just do a couple more strokes, close it off, and you're done. Again, usually I would do this without lifting the leg. I just wanted you to be able to see where that point lies. And that is part 1. So now that you have learned all about really relaxed, I wanted to give you those special tips and extra resources so that you really have everything you need if your animal is dealing with anxiety or any kind of fear response around fireworks or any kind of loud noises like thunderstorms. So tip number 1 is to make sure that you use those points before the event if you can. And again, sometimes I know that's not possible, but if you are able to do it ahead of time and maybe bring in some of those extra points from the PDF, not just really relax, but also the other points in that PDF, you'll know which point is your animal's favorite. So you're going to be able to use those as your starting point and really use what they think is the best and really get the best results too. So that's tip number 1. Do it ahead of time if you can. It clears the system and really preps the animal to be receptive to the work when the sounds get really loud. So number 2 is if your animal is super sensitive and they don't really like touch at all, especially when they're already overstimulated, there's still a way that you can activate these points, and it's really effective. And it couldn't be simpler. And that is to use our method, which we call No Pressure Acupressure. This comes from a simple course that we offer in our shop if you're interested to learn more about it. But the short story is that you can actually use just kind of meditating on the point, and the results will be often just the same, or even sometimes better, because you're not triggering that sensory overload that can sometimes happen with the touch when the animal is already kind of full of sensory input. So what you can do with this is, now that you know where the point is, you can actually just hold your hand over the point. So you're not actually in contact with it. Your hand is just holding over the point. It actually works just as well. For those animals that are super sensitive, like let's say you have a cat that is hiding in the closet or a dog that's hiding under the bed and touching is not an option right now, you can still use the no pressure acupressure technique of ours by sitting down. Maybe you can see them, maybe you're in another room. It doesn't matter. And you can actually just send energy through your palm and your intention as a gift, as an offering to that part of their body, just by envisioning it and sending it energetically with your intention. May sound a little woo, I get that, but try it. Some of you are going to be really amazed at how well it works. And again, if you want to know more about that course, it's super inexpensive and super easy to do. So you can check out our shop and find out all more about it, or just give it a try in the ways that I've just described. Now, number 3 is our last tip, but it is absolutely the tip to combine with your acupressure. So we love to combine the acupressure points like Really Relax or the others in the PDF with Rescue Remedy, which is a Bach flower remedy. It's a little kind of remedy that you can get at most natural foods markets or online, lots and lots of places that you can get it. And you don't have to get the Bach flower remedy. There are also kind of knockoff brands that often work just as well. But this remedy is incredible for relaxation, even in super high stress situations. I've heard some truly miraculous stories around of it, but one I saw with my own eyes, and it was around fireworks. So when I lived in Switzerland, a dog that I knew was terrified of their August 1st Independence Day fireworks. And they would have to sedate the dog and put it in, a really dark room and stay there. And the dog would still be terrified. It was really a hard thing to watch. So what I suggested is that we use these Bach flower remedies, the Rescue Remedy, along with some acupressure. Now, the Bach flowers were really easy to use by just putting a little in the dog's water, and we also took some and put it on her hands and used it on the points like Heart 1, and it was kind of mind-blowing. What we saw is that this dog, who for years and years had been absolutely terrified of fireworks, well, I guess it was a he. It was a young male dog that went out and actually stood right by where they were lighting off the fireworks in the field in the back of the house, and he would just watch it and just watch the firework go up and burst into all of the sounds and lights. And he thought it was the greatest thing he'd ever seen. So that really showed me that the Rescue Remedy, together with the point work, again, a couple drops on your fingers, then coming into the acupressure points ahead of the fireworks event, helped this dog to just feel calm and easy, curious, and even enthusiastic about those fireworks along with his people. It was totally a surprise and totally a delight. So those are the kinds of extra tips that I would suggest to get even better results with Really Relaxed. So now that you have a full mini toolkit for helping animals through these loud events, whether they are fireworks or thunderstorms or whatever it is that freaks those animals out, you have something to help them with. Of course, you're going to use that together with any of the other techniques that you've already found to be useful, but you might find that in conjunction, you really have the ability to help that animal get through it with ease. Make sure you get that PDF that's linked down in the description box, because of course, that's going to have more points for you that are all based on relaxation. Make sure you try the points ahead of time if you can, but even if you're late to the party, start anyway. They are really, really great tools for you and your animals, and the animals are going to love them. And also remember that you have full demos of all of the points on horses and dogs and cats. So whatever resources that you might be needing, we have got you covered. But before you leave, just tell me what kind of animal situation you think you might be using these points for. I want to know exactly how these points are helping and the results that you're seeing. Good luck. I hope the absolute best for your animals.